see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy...
Toprak was seen completing long runs at a consistent pace. Not just one fast lap, but a steady and aggressive sequence of times, indicating that the changes were more than just minor adjustments. Yamaha engineers were seen discussing the pit wall more frequently, while telemetry data was monitored closely. Something was different, and everyone in the paddock could feel it. Inside sources said Toprak had finally found the ideal combination of the V4 engine's character and his signature riding style. Acceleration out of corners became smoother yet more brutal, while top speed on the Mandalika straight increased without sacrificing rear-wheel control. This sparked speculation about a secret button. Not literally, but a key setting in engine management that hadn't been fully unlocked. The final day of testing was crucial. Yamaha came to Mandalika with a long list of evaluations, and Toprak was given complete freedom to push the bike to its limits. The results were clear. His times improved compared to previous days, even leading some in the paddock to say the performance was approaching race-ready levels, despite it still being a private test. Most interestingly, this speed increase didn't come without drama. Toprak appeared calm, focused, and supremely confident as he returned to the garage. There were no exaggerated gestures, just a small nod to the crew, as if he knew today was a turning point. His body language spoke volumes. The V4 engine was finally starting to talk to him. From a technical standpoint, Mandalika was an ideal location for a test. The combination of fast corners, technical sections, and long straights provided a complete picture of the engine's power. This was where Yamaha needed answers, and on the final day of testing, those answers came through Toprak's consistent and convincing pace. The paddock may still be calling it a private test, but the effects were clearly far from private. Word spread quickly, rivals began to reassess their threats, and Yamaha received a major morale boost. If this final day of V4 testing at Mandalika is any indicator, then the project, which had been in doubt, is now showing very promising results. And here's the full news. The final day of the Yamaha V4 private test at the Mandalika circuit turned into a moment that truly sent the paddock into a frenzy. From the moment the morning sun shone on the track, the atmosphere around the Yamaha garage was different. There was no excessive euphoria, no grand statements to the media, but everyone there knew one thing. Something important was happening, and the center of all attention was Toprak Rezgatlioglu. Toprak began the final day's session with a very methodical approach. He didn't immediately chase the fastest time, but instead built a rhythm lap by lap. But that's where the surprises began. His times slowly and consistently dropped, with no signs of the bike reaching its limits. Sector data showed a clear increase in acceleration, especially on the exit of slow and medium corners, an area that had previously been the biggest challenge for Yamaha's V4 engine. In the paddock, the term secret button began to be heard. It wasn't a physical button, but a combination of electronic settings, engine mapping, and Toprak's way of harnessing the characteristics of this V4 engine. Over the course of several days of testing, Yamaha sought the balance between immense power and control. It was on this final day that Toprak reportedly finally found the formula that made the bike feel at one with his racing instincts. What surprised everyone wasn't just a single fast lap, but rather consistency. Over a long run, Toprak was able to maintain a nearly identical pace, demonstrating that this performance improvement wasn't the result of a momentary boost. The tires held up well, the bike was stable, and feedback to the rider was noticeably more positive than in previous days. Several rival technicians observing from a distance even admitted that this progress was visible, not just numbers on a screen. The final day of testing is always a day of proving ground, and Mandalika provided the perfect setting. The circuit's demanding balance between top speed and cornering stability made any weaknesses readily apparent. However, it was on the long straights that Yamaha's V4 engine now showed a significant increase in speed. This difference was clearly visible from the team's internal GPS data, where Toprak recorded higher speeds without losing composure entering the next corner. Inside the garage, the atmosphere was serious but confident. Discussions between Toprak and his crew chief were intense, with the telemetry data screen taking center stage. Toprak pointed to specific graphs several times, as if to confirm that his feelings on the bike now aligned with the data. This was a crucial moment for a major project, when the rider's feeling and the technical numbers finally converged. The privacy of this test actually added to its appeal. Without public pressure, Yamaha could work quietly, and Toprak could push the limits without distraction. But the results were too striking to hide. Word of the performance surge spread quickly through the paddock, fueling speculation about the V4 engine's potential if further development was carried out. Toprak himself appeared increasingly confident throughout the day. His aggressive riding style now appeared more controlled, with the bike embracing his trademark hard braking and explosive acceleration. Several times he was seen pushing the limits, then returning to the pits with a calm expression, as if ensuring that what happened on the track was no fluke. This final day of V4 testing at Mandalika could be a turning point for Yamaha. After a period of exploration and uncertainty, clear signs were emerging that the development direction was correct. The secret button Toprak had discovered wasn't just a matter of settings, but a deep understanding of the engine, electronics, and circuit characteristics. For the Paddock, the message from Mandalika was powerful. The Yamaha V4 project was no longer just a future idea. With Toprak at the helm, the bike was beginning to show its true colors: fast, stable, and full of potential. And on the final day of this private test, one thing became increasingly clear. Toprak's latest speed was no rumor, but concrete evidence that silenced the entire paddock. The Yamaha team once again strongly signaled their seriousness in welcoming the MotoGP season, with an unusual yet highly strategic move. Long before the official shakedown test at the Sepang circuit began, Yamaha reportedly arrived in Malaysia early to conduct a series of private, closed tests with several key riders and their satellite team, Pramac Yamaha. This move immediately caught the attention of the paddock. While most teams were still preparing technically and logistically, Yamaha chose to hit the track first, maximizing the available time to catch up on the performance gap they had experienced in recent seasons. The main focus of this private test was none other than Toprak Razgatlioglu. The rider, part of Yamaha's large project, underwent an intensive session with Pramac Yamaha, marking the increasingly close collaboration between the factory and satellite teams. Yamaha wanted to ensure Toprak's adaptation to the prototype bike proceeded as quickly as possible, while also using his aggressive riding style as a key reference in the bike's development. According to information from the paddock, this test focused on many fundamental aspects, from engine characteristics and throttle response to stability under hard braking, to corner exit traction. Yamaha isn't just focused on single-lap speed, but also on understanding how the bike performs in race simulations and long runs. In addition to Toprak, Fabio Quartararo is also on the schedule for this initial test. The presence of the 2021 MotoGP World Champion is crucial. Fabio is known for his detailed technical input, particularly regarding front tire feel and bike balance. Yamaha hopes Fabio's input will serve as a key reference before entering the official shakedown phase with other teams. Fabio himself is said to be testing several different configurations, including chassis and electronics setups, to find the combination that best suits his riding style. Yamaha recognizes that Fabio's performance relies heavily on confidence in the front end of the bike, something that has been a major challenge in recent seasons. Furthermore, Jack Miller is also scheduled to take to the track for this series of tests. The Australian rider brings extensive experience, having ridden for several different manufacturers in MotoGP. Yamaha considers Miller's perspective invaluable, as he can compare the Yamaha's characteristics with those of rival bikes he has previously ridden. Miller's data is expected to provide new perspectives for development. Meanwhile, Alex Rins will complement Yamaha's strengths at Sepang. The Spanish rider will focus more on testing the bike's consistency and durability, particularly in full-distance race simulations. Yamaha wants to ensure that their bike is not only competitive early in the race, but also stable and doesn't experience a drop in performance in the final stages. Yamaha's decision to arrive at Sepang early is seen as a major shift in philosophy. Previously often considered overly cautious and reactive, Yamaha now appears much more
I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats. Baby's bad, oh baby's hella bad. After her there ain't no coming back. Wanna take a run at that. I think she's feeling me. Turn it up a few degrees. My imagination of her body